Have you ever wondered what it takes to truly live a happy and peaceful life as you age? What if I told you that letting go of certain things could unlock the freedom to experience life more fully in your golden years? As we grow older, it's natural to reflect on the past, but there comes a point when we must release the burdens that hold us back from embracing the present. In this video, I'll share 5 essential things to let go of immediately to find greater happiness, peace, and fulfillment in your later years. By watching this video, you'll discover how letting go of resentment, past sorrows, meaningless relationships, empty pride, and unhealed wounds can significantly improve your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. These insights are not just about aging gracefully, they're about reclaiming your power and living authentically. You'll learn how forgiveness and emotional freedom can lighten your heart while embracing meaningful connections that will enrich your life. This video will help you release the weight of the past and make room for joy, laughter, and deeper connections. Don't let your past dictate your future. Stick with me until the end and let's explore how you can transform your life today. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. 1. Let go of resentment. Resentment is one of the most insidious thieves of our well-being. It sneaks into our lives quietly, masquerading as a justified companion to our pain, convincing us that by holding onto it, we're somehow protecting ourselves. But in truth, resentment doesn't shield us, it imprisons us. It steals our peace of mind, erodes our joy, and poisons the very foundation of our health. Its roots take hold in the fertile soil of betrayal, hurtful words, or actions we deem unjust, and over time, it flourishes into a weight so overwhelming that it stifles our ability to live fully and love freely. There's a strange comfort in resentment, isn't there? It feels like an old wound we instinctively guard, as though nursing it keeps us in control or somehow balances the scales of justice. We cling to it because letting go feels like surrender, like granting a reprieve to the person who hurt us. But the truth is stark and unrelenting. Holding on to resentment doesn't punish the person who wronged us, it punishes us. It binds us to the very pain we long to escape, anchoring us to moments that no longer serve us, moments that continue to harm us long after they've passed. Think of resentment like clutching a burning coal. You grip it tightly, seething to throw it at the one who wronged you. But the coal doesn't harm them, it only burns your hand, scarring you again and again. It's a weight that drags you down, affecting not just your emotional health but your physical well-being. Studies have shown that harboring resentment leads to increased stress, anxiety, and depression. Over time, this emotional burden can manifest in real, tangible ways. High blood pressure, heart disease, chronic pain, and even a weakened immune system. The damage doesn't stop there. Resentment drains the energy you need for joy, creativity, and connection. It leaves you irritable, distracted, and emotionally closed off, robbing you of the life you deserve. And yet, there is hope. There is a way to break free from the chains of resentment, reclaim your peace, and step into a life unburdened by bitterness. That path is forgiveness. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It is not about forgetting the harm that was done or pretending it didn't matter. It is not about excusing someone's behavior or inviting them back into your life. Forgiveness is a deeply personal act of liberation. It is a declaration that you will no longer allow someone else's actions to hold power over you. It's choosing to release the grip of resentment so you can hold on to something far more precious: your peace, your joy, and your freedom. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to let go of the resentment you've been carrying. Think about the person or situation that still haunts your thoughts. Perhaps it's an old friend who betrayed your trust, a family member whose words cut too deeply, or even a version of yourself who made choices you now regret. Picture setting that burden down, releasing it like a helium balloon into the sky, and watching it disappear into the distance. How much lighter would you feel? How much freer would your spirit be? Letting go doesn't happen all at once. It's a journey, not a single act. The process begins with acknowledgement. You must face the pain you've been holding on to and name it. Say to yourself, "This happened. It hurt deeply, and it mattered." Permit yourself to grieve, to feel the anger and sadness, to honor the emotions tied to that experience. But then remind yourself of this truth: you are not your pain. You are not the sum of your wounds. The hurt may be part of your story, but it doesn't have to define the rest of your journey. Forgiveness is a practice, one you will need to return to again and again. Some days, it will feel easy. You'll wake up feeling lighter, as if the weight of resentment has loosened its grip. On other days, old wounds might sting, and the anger may resurface. That's okay. Healing is not linear. Celebrate the moments when forgiveness feels natural, and be patient with yourself on the days it feels hard. Every step you take toward forgiveness is a step toward freedom. Reframe the story you tell yourself about the pain you've endured. Ask yourself, what have I learned from this experience? How has it shaped the person I am today? Sometimes, our greatest growth springs from our deepest wounds. Resentment begins to lose its power when we can see those moments not just as sources of pain, but as catalysts for resilience and wisdom. To let go of resentment is to reclaim your power. It is to stand tall and say, I will no longer allow this pain to dictate my life. It is an act of self-love, a bold declaration that you deserve peace and happiness. The people who hurt you don't deserve to take up space in your mind, to rob you of your joy. Letting go isn't about them, it's about you. It's about choosing yourself, choosing your well-being, and choosing to live fully in the present rather than being shackled to the past. Imagine a life unburdened by anger. Picture yourself smiling more freely, laughing more fully, and embracing the people and experiences that bring you joy. Resentment may have been your companion for years, but it doesn't have to stay. Today can be the day you begin to let go, one breath, one thought, one act of forgiveness at a time. The weight of resentment has been heavy, but you don't have to carry it anymore. You have the power to set it down, to release it into the past where it belongs. Letting go isn't just an act of forgiveness, it's an act of liberation. You are freeing yourself to live, to love, to heal. You've carried this burden long enough. Let it go, for your peace, for your happiness, for the life you deserve. 2. Let go of past sorrows. The past is a place we find ourselves returning to far too often. It calls us back with whispers of laughter and light, but it also harbors shadows, remnants of sorrow, loss, and regret that lingers in the corners of our memory. For many, the most challenging part of growing older isn't the years etched upon our faces or the silver threading through our hair, but the emotional weight of those memories we carry. The losses, the fractured relationships, the dreams that never came to fruition, all of it can feel like a heavy shroud draped over our spirit. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. We revisit these sorrows in quiet moments, replaying the words we wish we could take back or the hands we wish we could still hold. Sometimes, it feels as though moving forward would mean betraying the love or pain tied to those moments. But the truth is this: to dwell in the past is to chain ourselves to what is no longer within our control, to miss the beauty of the present and the infinite promise of what still lies ahead. Letting go of past sorrows does not mean erasing them or pretending they never happened. It means embracing the fullness of life as a mosaic, understanding that every piece, both bright and dark, has its place in the artwork of our existence. Our sorrows have shaped us, yes, but they do not have the right to overshadow the joy, peace, and potential that still await. Life is not about forgetting the past. It's about learning how to hold those memories without letting them weigh us down. Think of the moments that haunt you. Perhaps it's the ache of a friendship lost to misunderstandings, the memory of a missed opportunity, or the hollow void left by a loved one who is no longer here. These sorrows are threads woven into the tapestry of your life, but they are not its entirety. They are chapters, but they do not dictate the ending of your story. Grieving is natural. It is the heart's way of honoring what was, but to linger too long in grief is to allow it to become a prison. Picture a garden ravaged by a storm. The petals are scattered, the soil disturbed, and some branches may never bloom again. But look closely. Beneath the brokenness lies the promise of renewal. With care, with patience, new flowers can grow. The same is true for your heart. Past sorrows may have left scars, but they do not have to define the garden of your life. New joys can take root and flourish, but only if you give them room to grow. The first step in letting go of past sorrows is acceptance. Acceptance is not about dismissing the depth of your pain. It's about recognizing that what happened cannot be changed. It's about acknowledging that sorrow is an intrinsic part of being human, a reflection of how deeply you have loved and how fully you have lived. But it is also about acknowledging your strength. The strength to grieve, to endure, and ultimately to move forward. Focus on the present as an act of healing. In this moment, you have the chance to savor the sweetness of life's simplest offerings. Feel the warmth of the sun on your face, hear the rustle of leaves in the wind, and allow yourself to smile at the sound of laughter. Each of these small moments is a gift that sorrow often blinds us to when we allow it to linger too long. Reframe the story you tell yourself about the past. Instead of seeing it as a collection of wounds, view it as evidence of your resilience. You've weathered storms, navigated heartache, and emerged stronger. Those sorrows you carry are not chains. They are badges of survival. They are proof of your ability to endure, to grow, and to transform. Letting go of sorrow does not mean letting go of love. Love remains a quiet and enduring force that continues to shape your days. By choosing to focus on love instead of loss, you honor the people and moments that have shaped you. Letting go of past sorrows is not a betrayal of those memories. It is an act of courage. It is an act of self-compassion. It is a declaration that while you carry the past within you, you also deserve to live fully in the present. Imagine yourself standing on the threshold of today. Behind you is the weight of yesterday, the tears, the regrets, the aching absence of what could have been. Before you is the light of what still can be. Take a deep breath and let the sorrows of the past rest gently in their place. You've carried them long enough. You've given them your time, your tears, your heart. Now, turn your face to the sunlight of today. Allow the beauty of the present to take center stage. Notice the kindness in a stranger's smile, the tenderness of a shared moment with someone you love, or the quiet peace of a still morning. These are the gifts waiting for you when you choose to let go of what no longer serves you. You cannot change the past, but you can change the way you carry it. The love you've experienced, the lessons you've learned, and the strength you've cultivated are all yours to keep. The pain, however, is yours to release. Letting go is not about forgetting. It's about freeing yourself to live, to hope, and to love again. Today, let the sorrows of yesterday become part of your story, not the entirety of it. Step forward with a heart unburdened, open to the beauty that still awaits. Life is not over. It is still unfolding, offering you new chapters, new joys, and new opportunities to grow. Embrace them. You deserve it. 3. Let go of meaningless relationships. As life unfolds and the years pass, a profound truth begins to emerge. Not everything or everyone we hold on to is meant to stay. In our younger years, relationships often feel like trophies, a measure of how full our lives are. The more people we know, the more validated and connected we feel. Friends, colleagues, acquaintances, and fleeting companions fill the chapters of our youth, each playing a role in shaping our experiences. But as the seasons of life change, we begin to understand a deeper reality. It is not the number of connections that matters, but the depth and authenticity of the bonds we keep. There comes a time when we must ask ourselves, are the relationships we carry adding value to our lives, or are they simply weighing us down? Letting go of meaningless relationships is not about anger, judgment, or resentment. It's an act of self-respect, a recognition that your time, energy, and emotional well-being are too precious to be squandered on connections that no longer nourish your soul. It is a brave and liberating step toward prioritizing the relationships that truly matter. As we age, we gain the clarity to distinguish between relationships that uplift and those that drain. Some people bring light into our lives. They listen, they laugh with us, and they remind us of our worth. Others may cast shadows, bringing negativity, criticism, or indifference that leave us feeling unseen and unvalued. Time reveals who truly cherishes us and who may only be present out of convenience or habit. Think about the people in your life. Reflect deeply and honestly. Who are the ones who inspire you, encourage you, and celebrate your victories, no matter how small? These are the relationships to treasure. Who are the ones who leave you feeling diminished, stressed, or unappreciated? These are the relationships to reconsider. It doesn't mean ending things with hostility or bitterness. It means stepping back with kindness and choosing to invest in connections that align with your happiness and peace. Letting go can feel daunting, especially when the ties have been long-standing. Longevity, however, does not equate to loyalty or love. Sometimes, relationships run their course. Just as seasons change, so too do the people we need in our lives. It's natural, and it's okay. Recognizing when it's time to let go is not a failure. It's wisdom. Imagine the space that could open in your life when you release relationships that no longer serve you. The absence of meaningless connections creates room for something far greater: authentic bonds, rekindled relationships with those you've neglected, or even a deeper relationship with yourself. In the quiet of that space, you may rediscover your worth, dreams, and joys. Letting go of relationships isn't just about walking away from others. It's about walking toward something better. It's about freeing yourself from obligation and guilt. You may worry about hurting others or feel shame for stepping away, but remember, caring for yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. Those who genuinely care for you will understand and support your choice. Those who don't were never truly invested in your happiness to begin with. Meaningful relationships don't have to be numerous. A handful of genuine connections can fill your heart more than a crowd of shallow acquaintances ever could. A close friend who listens without judgment, a child or grandchild who shares their laughter, a neighbor who checks in with a kind word. These are the bonds that enrich your life. Meaningful relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and kindness. They don't demand constant attention but thrive on quiet understanding and love. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Letting go of meaningless relationships is not a loss. It's a gain. It's gaining freedom from the weight of negativity, the burden of unmet expectations, and the exhaustion of one-sided connections. It's choosing to spend your precious days surrounded by those who truly see you, value you, and love you for who you are. As you reflect on your relationships, consider this: life is too short to waste with people who drain your joy or diminish your worth. Surround yourself with those who bring out the best in you, who brighten your days, and who inspire you to be your truest self. At the same time, be that person for others. Offer kindness, respect, and love to those who cherish you. To let go of meaningless relationships is to reclaim your power, your peace, and your happiness. It is an act of courage and self-love, a step toward living authentically and fully. You are not defined by how many people you know but by the quality of the love and connection you share with those who matter most. Choose wisely, with an open heart and a clear mind. Let go of what doesn't serve you, and hold tightly to the relationships that bring you joy, fulfillment, and peace. By doing so, you create space for a life rich with meaning, connection, and contentment. Life is too beautiful and too short to be spent otherwise. Embrace what matters, and let go of the rest. 4. Let go of empty pride and titles. As the years unfold, the roles we once held with such pride, titles, accolades, positions of authority, begin to fade into the backdrop of life. These symbols of our past accomplishments once defined us, marked our value, and shaped how others saw us. They represented the hard work, sacrifices, and successes that became the pillars of our identity. But as time moves forward and life shifts, holding on to these titles can feel like clutching at shadows. The things that once gave us purpose and pride may now weigh us down, obscuring the deeper essence of who we are beyond what we've done. Letting go of empty pride and outdated titles is not about dismissing or diminishing your past achievements. It's about recognizing that your worth is not tethered to who you once were, but to who you are today. The truth is that titles are transient. They serve their purpose in a specific chapter of your life, but they don't define your journey in its entirety. What defines you now is not the label on your nameplate, but the love you give, the wisdom you share, and the way you choose to show up in the world each day. Think of the weight that pride carries when it clings to outdated roles or status symbols. A retired executive who still introduces themselves by their former position may feel a flicker of recognition, but it can also create a barrier. It anchors them to a version of themselves that no longer exists and may prevent them from embracing the richness of who they've become in the present. Pride tied to titles can lead us to compare ourselves to others, to seek validation in ways that no longer serve us, and to yearn for relevance in spaces where we no longer belong. There is immense freedom in letting go of these external markers. By releasing the need to define yourself by a title or achievement, you open the door to embracing life as it is now. You are no longer confined to being former anything. You are simply you, whole, authentic, and filled with the unique wisdom and experience that only time can bestow. Stripped of labels, you are free to be present, explore new passions, and nurture the relationships and joys that truly matter. Letting go of pride doesn't mean letting go of dignity. It doesn't mean forgetting the milestones of your life or the impact you've made. Those moments remain an indelible part of your story. They shape the person you are today, but they are not the totality of your being. Your laughter, your kindness, and your ability to connect with others carry far more weight than any title ever could. These are the qualities that leave a lasting legacy, long after accolades and job descriptions have faded. Empty pride can also be a barrier to vulnerability. When we cling to titles, we may find it harder to admit mistakes, ask for help, or show our true selves. We build walls instead of bridges, keeping others at arm's length to preserve a facade of strength or importance. But true strength lies in humility. When you release the need to prove your worth, you invite authenticity into your life. You allow others to see and connect with the real you, fostering relationships built on trust and mutual respect. Your past accomplishments don't vanish when you let go of pride. They live on in the lives you've touched and the impact you've made. Whether it was leading a team, raising a family, or lending a helping hand to someone in need, your contributions remain woven into the fabric of the world. But those contributions are not dependent on a title. They endure in the memories, lessons, and love you've shared with others. Consider the story you want to write for this chapter of your life. Do you want it to be a list of titles and awards, or a testament to the richness of your character? Do you want to be remembered for the position you held, or for the relationships you nurtured and the kindness you showed? The most meaningful accomplishments are often the quiet ones. A moment of forgiveness, a word of encouragement, a life made brighter because of your presence. Letting go of empty pride is not a loss. It is a victory. It is a courageous act of self-awareness and growth, a conscious decision to value substance over symbolism. It allows you to step into this new stage of life with confidence, free from the weight of past expectations. By releasing the need to define yourself by what you've done, you reclaim the joy of simply being. Imagine the peace that comes from no longer needing to measure up to titles or achievements. Picture the freedom of embracing yourself just as you are, without pretense or posturing. You are enough, not because of what you once accomplished, but because of who you are at your core. This is your moment to live authentically, to focus on the connections, joys, and passions that make life truly meaningful. Titles fade, and pride can be hollow, but the essence of who you are, the love you give, the wisdom you share, and the legacy you build through your actions, endures. Let go of the need for empty validation. Embrace the freedom of simply being you, and know that in doing so, you have already achieved something extraordinary. 5. Forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness is among the most profound acts of liberation and healing, yet it is often one of the hardest to grant, especially to ourselves. As we journey through life, we gather not only its joys but also its regrets, mistakes, and hurts. These emotional scars, if left unhealed, become heavy burdens, chaining us to pain and preventing us from stepping fully into the peace and freedom we deserve. Forgiveness, then, is not just a kindness we extend to others. It is a vital act of self-love that allows us to live unshackled from the weight of the past. To forgive yourself is to extend compassion inward, to quiet the relentless inner voice that replays your missteps and regrets. So often, we hold ourselves to impossible standards, punishing ourselves for actions we didn't take, words we wish we had said differently, or choices that, in hindsight, seem flawed. Over time, this self-blame hardens into an inner critic that whispers harsh judgments, denying us the grace we so readily offer to others. But consider this. You are human, and being human means being imperfect. Life is not a pursuit of perfection but a journey of growth, learning, and love. Forgiving yourself is an act of radical compassion. It is the recognition that you did the best you could with the knowledge, tools, and circumstances you had at the time. Imagine speaking to your younger self not with anger or disappointment but with tenderness, as you would to a child learning to walk. Would you scold that child for stumbling? Or would you encourage them to rise and try again? Each mistake you've made has been a teacher, shaping the person you are today. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can choose to view it through the lens of compassion rather than criticism. To forgive yourself is to free yourself from the constant replay of regret. It is to say, I am not my mistakes. I am my resilience, my lessons, and my capacity to grow. Just as forgiveness for yourself is transformative, extending forgiveness to others can be equally life-changing. Every one of us has been hurt, by a friend who betrayed us, a family member who let us down, or even a stranger whose actions left a lasting wound. These hurts can fester if left unattended, creating a reservoir of anger and resentment that weighs on our hearts and minds. We often hold on to this pain, believing that nursing protects us or delivers justice. But in reality, holding on to anger is like clutching a burning coal, hoping it will harm someone else, when in fact, it only burns us. Forgiving others doesn't mean excusing their actions or pretending the hurt didn't happen. It means choosing to release the hold their behavior has over you. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to the person who hurt you. It is a gift you give to yourself. It is a declaration that you will no longer allow their actions to dictate your emotional state or rob you of your peace. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. This release is not always easy. Some wounds run deep, and the memory of the pain may resurface unexpectedly. In those moments, remind yourself that forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. It is a practice you return to again and again, loosening the grip of anger and resentment bit by bit. Over time, you'll find that the sting of the memory fades, replaced by a sense of peace and lightness. Forgiveness also requires perspective. Reflect on those who have hurt you. Were they acting out of their pain, ignorance, or fear? Understanding the why behind someone's actions doesn't excuse them, but it can make them easier to forgive. It allows you to see them not as villains but as flawed individuals, just as you are. Forgiveness is an act of freedom. It frees you from the prisons of guilt, anger, and resentment that keep you chained to the past. Whether it's forgiving yourself for a long-held regret or forgiving someone who wronged you deeply, each act of forgiveness is a step closer to emotional and spiritual liberation. It's a way of reclaiming your power and choosing peace over pain. As you move through life, remember that forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it transforms the future. It clears the path for joy, connection, and wholeness. Gifts that cannot coexist with anger and bitterness. Forgiveness allows you to step into a life defined not by what has been broken, but by what remains to be cherished and celebrated. Forgive yourself for the moments you didn't know better, for the times you fell short of your expectations. Forgive others for their imperfections, just as you would hope to be forgiven for yours. Let go of the pain you've carried, not because the past doesn't matter, but because your peace matters more. Imagine the lightness of a life unburdened by guilt and resentment. Picture yourself stepping into each day with an open heart, free to embrace the love, joy, and beauty that surround you. Forgiveness isn't just an act, it's a gift you give yourself over and over again. It is the key that unlocks the door to a life of peace, fulfillment, and freedom. These years, rich with wisdom and perspective, offer you the extraordinary opportunity to let go of what no longer serves you. Release the pain of the past, embrace the simplicity of the present, and open your heart to the joys yet to come. Let forgiveness guide you to a place of healing, where love and compassion flourish, and the weight of the past gives way to the freedom of the present. You deserve nothing less. As we reach the end of this journey together, take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed. Letting go of resentment, past sorrows, meaningless relationships, empty pride, and embracing forgiveness. Each of these steps is a pathway to a lighter, freer, and more fulfilling life. What have you learned today? Which of these resonated most with you? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share one thing you've learned and will bring into practice in your life in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, like, and share it with someone who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content that inspires and uplifts. Together, let's continue this journey toward a more meaningful and joyful life. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.